Attacks in the Red Sea continue to disrupt global shipping, leading more companies to switch routes or find alternative ways to transport goods from Asia to Europe. The sector is also faced with skyrocketing costs. Since April 2023, rates for shipping a standard 40-foot container from China to Europe by sea have jumped fivefold to $5,500. Now, over the same period, rail costs climbed a little over 10% to $7,800. So rail is still more expensive, but might save on time, sending goods by sea from China to Europe, avoiding those flashpoint shortcuts like the Suez and Panama canals, and going via Africa's Cape of Good Hope can take up to 39 days. But by rail, the journey is 25 days at most. Well, Julija is the Chief Business Development Officer at RailGate Europe, a network for rail transport between China and Europe. Thanks for coming on the programme. Now, you work with logistics companies, so how has business been since the crisis in the Red Sea has been unfolding?
Firstly, good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to be in this interview. And you are totally right. We are actually influenced quite a lot with this situation. I would say since the first attacks that rebel started, our volumes, depending from the region in Europe, were increased, let's say, from 25 to 35%. So as you see, it's a huge increase. But also I would like to mention that the Chinese New Year is coming, and that's why usually everywhere we have increased before the celebration as well. So it's quite hard to differentiate the reason of the Houthi attacks and the Chinese New Year at the moment. But time will show.
It's still more expensive though, isn't it, to send cargo via rail than via sea?
Yes, you are totally right again. But in general, rail is supposed to be more expensive than sea, but cheaper than air. So at the moment, it is like that. And at the moment, as you see, rail shipping is safer than sea transport. And actually, transit is way better, keeping in mind that sea transit time increased by 2 weeks, if I'm not wrong.
OK, but what might be the catch or the concerns that companies might have? Because many of these rail routes have to go via Russia, for example. Yeah. And I wonder if there's also a question about how much can be transported at any one time.
Well, of course, I will start from capacities. Definitely, rail transport is not capable to back up all the sea shipments. I will give you a simple example. For example, one train can handle 40-50 containers, depending from the train size, and ocean vessel can handle from few hundred to several thousand containers. So you see, it's not possible to back up all the sea shipments by rail. And about the concerns, I would like to say that, of course, the main concern at the beginning was the Russia war with the Ukraine, and people were concerned about cargo safety, especially when insurances are not covering war events, obviously. But as you see, time showed that you can never be sure, and no one expected these attacks happen in Red Sea. So, and by rail, we didn't have any accidents so far. Transit time is quite stable, and cargoes depart and arrive timely, and clients, I should say, are happy.
Now, I know you don't have a crystal ball, and you've mentioned variables which kind of skew your data, like China's Spring Festival. But what is your outlook, your medium-term outlook, assuming that the situation in the Red Sea maybe stabilises?
Well, of course, it stabilizes, as we all understand, and the question is when. Of course, every person expects this to happen faster. I assume that the volumes in rail, of course, will drop, but I think that the 15–10% of what we have now will remain, because many shippers, many customers were forced to deliver the cargo by rail, even they didn't like to, because obvious reasons, right? And they see now that the price is okay, the transit time is great, so definitely they will stay. But of course, they will need to save money, so probably they will ship something by sea and something by rail. This is our expectations after the attacks will be over and the situation will be better.